Okay, we're back in the workshop here with this beautiful old archtop.
Yep.
Now what we're doing today is we are going to re-glue the back. So that's going to require some rabbit glue or hide glue.
Rabbit glue.
And, yes, sticking rabbits together. And lots of clamps. And I'm going to warm this up a little bit, just because that makes the glue softer for a little longer, so we don't get ourselves unstuck, because I don't want to be rushing too much. It's a little bit stressful gluing it back on.
Makes the contact a little easier if it's
yeah, that's right. Now the reason
thing not hitting a cold thing.
That's right. And the reason I'm using hide glue or rabbit glue is if you ever need to take it off again in the future, then with a bit of heat and a bit of alcohol, you can pull the back off again. Not that I'm planning to take it off, but it's just a safety measurement. And there's arguments out there too that hoof glue or hide glue sounds better. That one I'm not so sure about, but hey, why not?
So we're just using the heat gun to heat up both sides of the gluing surface.
Just to warm it up a little bit so it's not ultra cold. Like, I wouldn't say that's hot, but it's not cold.
No. It's not going to shock the glue into setting
immediately, no.
Yeah.
So we got our glue here, and we just basically paint that on the best we can, and again working fairly quickly.
What sort of set time do we have to have here?
Well, working time or setting time?
Well, the time window in which you need to be pressing the back onto the guitar.
Well, basically the time it takes for the glue to cool down drastically. So if it's winter where you're working, then you got less time basically. The good thing with using hoof glue or hide glue on a guitar that has had that kind of glue applied before is that it sticks to itself very well. So you don't have to remove every little morsel of previous glue, because
it's periodically correct for the guitar. I guess.
Well, that is true too. That is what they used originally. But as I was saying, it'll stick to itself very well. Whereas some glues you have to remove every little bit of glue that was on there. So I made some little alignment marks on the side here.
Yep, you can see on camera there. There's a little
black line.
Little black line there.
Yeah, so that's going to help me align this. Hopefully.
There's a little bit of a run down the side there.
We've got a wet rag, that'll come off.
Yep. So if that happens, if you're doing this at home.
At home on the kitchen bench.
It's nothing to panic over. It's not going to set super quick like super glue or something.
No, that's right, yeah. See, it's starting to get sticky now. So we want to be kicking this along. Let's see here. Get the back clamp on.
So do you have plans for putting pickups on this instrument, or a magnetic pickup, or acoustic contact?
I may put a magnetic on it, but my initial thoughts was to put one of our Peterman acoustic pickups, probably internally. So I look at installing. I want to do a separate. I could have installed that while the back was off. That would have been nice and easy, but I want to do an installation video, so there'll be very little point doing that when the back is off, because not very many people will have that luxury, for lack of a better word.
Yeah, we'll be able to demonstrate how to get an internal pickup installed through the F-holes.
That's right, yeah.
Which is a
interesting proposition in itself.
And here, so we don't have any of that. The neck has no longer got a tilt or a swing in it. It's holding fast.
Yeah, no, neck's good, yeah. It's the question of getting all this in place.
Clamping gently and evenly across the board and making sure there's no...
Yeah, well, one thing that took me a little bit by surprise here is the slipperiness of this glue. It really is slip sliding all over the shop here. So last time I worked with hide glue, it was a different job to this.
So as it cooled down and become sticky?
Yeah, it's becoming quite sticky now. You can see the excess comes off as like gelatin. See in here it's gone.
Yep. That's your time window. It's been
quite gelatinous.
A few minutes maybe between resting in boiling water.
That then now just has to set. Probably overnight, I'd say.
Oh,
so once the clamps were on and the glue in situ, it started to slip around a little bit because this glue is really, really slippery. But the great thing about this glue, of course, is that you can keep working it by heating it and applying moisture. So you can see this crack slipped a little bit, so I'm applying a bit of heat there. I also put a little bit more water in the glue to make it a little bit runnier, and I'm just feeding some glue back into the crack here, like that. I'm going to wipe off the excess.
That's why when you glue something, you've got to check in increments afterwards.
Well, that's right. You can't just set and forget. I suppose you can, but it depends how many times you've done it. I think I should point out that this is actually the first time we've attempted a repair of an archback. So if you're watching this video, it's because you thought we were the experts on the subject. Not yet. Although I think we are getting there. We are learning as we're going. So this video could either be a way for people who want to attempt this to learn from it, or it could be like a warning.
Yeah.
So we'll see how it ends up, eh?
Well, if we hit any pitfalls or anything, we're going to...
Yeah, that's right.
We'll document it.
So, but what you can see now is that as I'm using sticky tape here to hold it in place, as I'm working my way around the areas that slipped a little bit, they're falling into place beautifully. So, although I was feeling a bit stressed a minute ago, I'm actually feeling a lot better now, because this is this is coming together quite nicely. I might even say beautifully. So
so if it's unaligned, if you...
Yeah, but that's the good thing with this glue, I suppose, is that it's not the end of the world. You can always take it back off again and do it again. So, of course, it's nice to get things right the first time, or get everything perfect the first time you do it, but we also live in the real world, and sometimes that is not the case.
Yes.
So, yeah, I'm just going to continue this process right around and make sure that crack lines up perfectly. So, yeah, and then it'll set overnight.
As you can see, it's quite a part down here.
Yeah, well, I've actually pulled it open a little bit here in order to clean out the excess glue and to get some heat in there with the heat glue.
Yeah, and you're not going to get that kind of pressure unless you use many pieces of tape. Fortunately, tape is cheap.
Well, that's right. It's fairly readily available. But okay, so there's a bit of alignment thinking. This is a point where I probably would let that set a little bit before I continue, because there's a little twist in the body here.
Just go little by little and
Little by little, let that settle before I continue on the next bit, because this needs to kind of settle in a little bit. So once that is set, then I can continue on from there. But now this looks really good.
yes, if you zoom right in, you can see.
How that's joining up there, and that's basically the thickness of the glue.
Yes.
So the other side from memory, I'll check that once I take the clamps off. But I'll just work my way around like this and make sure that glue join is well, as good as it can be. You know, it is a repair of an old guitar. It's never going to be brand new, but we may as well do the best we can. So
Yes.
yep, I'll just fiddle with that for a little bit, and I'll check in once I'm done.